So the goal of this video is to show you how you can make a cinematic nature B-roll sequence with your smartphone and a 3-axis gimbal. And the catch with this video is we are in a nice spot, we are in a park, it is looking kind of nice, but it is not the most beautiful spot. If you're watching other videos on YouTube where they show you how you can make nice B-roll sequences of nature, most of the time they are on a lake and everything is looking beautiful, so it is a little easier to make something that is looking nice. And in this video I'll show you how you can make also the regular spot look really nice. So first of all, before we start shooting our sequence, we need to plan our video. So my goal for this specific video is I want to show off the spot that we are in. I want to get different angles, I want to use different focal lengths, I want to use all the 3 different lenses that my iPhone has to offer. And I also want to have some nice subtle gimbal movements. And in the end, I want this to be a cinematic sequence. So I want to shoot this horizontally. And then in the end, in the post-production, I also want to add some letterboxes. So I want this cinematic vibe. So this is my rough outline. And what this means now for me is I will shoot horizontally and I will shoot in Dolby Vision HDR. To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of ProRes just because the files are just really big. So most of the time I'm just sticking with Dolby Vision HDR. And another positive aspect of Dolby Vision is that I can shoot at 60 frames per second. And then this gives me the opportunity to slow my footage down in the post-production and to add this dreamy slow motion look. And this also offers me the possibility to create some awesome looking speed ramps. So this will be my settings. And another thing that's also important, just so that I have said it already, before I press the record button, I always lock my focus and my exposure. But now I would say we are pretty much ready to start shooting. The only thing that is missing is my gimbal. And now we will just very quickly balance the gimbal. So my gimbal of choice for this video will be the Challange Smooth Q4. A really nice gimbal, I really like using it. It's very light and offers great stability. First of all, you just need to spread these clamps and clamp in your phone. So let's do that very quickly. And now this is what it looks like. And when it comes to balancing a smartphone gimbal or basically any gimbal, your goal should always be that the phone stays in its position without falling over. So as you can see, my phone stays in its position, but not in the position that I would like it to be. So this would be the position that I want to have it. So we need to bring that down a little bit. And just so that you can see, this now stays in its position without falling over and the gimbal is still turned off. And this should always be the goal. So yeah, if you have a setup like this, you can just turn it on just like this. And now you can start shooting. So now it's time to start shooting. And before you start shooting, always just look around, check what's around you and see what is the most beautiful shot. Because generally speaking, with all your videos, the first shot that you're making should be the most beautiful. And like I said in the intro, we are here in a nice spot. It's looking nice, but it's just nothing special at all. So there is no like one spot that is where you can say that this is the most beautiful spot by far. So we have been looking around and we found this spot right here. So I'll just press the record button now so that you can see what I see. And we have this huge tree here and we have the sun coming from the back here. For this opening shot, I want to start like this. I want to start panned up so that you can see the sun through the tree. And then I want to start at the top, start moving forward, and then slowly but surely tilt down so that you can see the park. This is the plan, and before I press the record button, like I said before, I'm always locking my focus and my exposure so that it now says AE and AF locked. I always like to drag down the exposure slider just a little bit because the iPhones tend to overexpose just a little bit. So that is looking fine, everything is locked. I'm in the follow mode on my gimbal. I started pressing the record button. We start panned up and slowly but surely tilt down and walk forward. So that is basically it. That's the first shot. I think it looked really nice also with the runner. I think this added somewhat of a nice touch to it. So that's the first shot. And now, like I've said before, I do have a rough plan for this video, but not like a complete, first shot, second shot, third shot. So I always like to walk around and see like, okay, what is looking beautiful? I can see the leaves here, so, and then I just make a little parallax around that. To be honest, probably we won't use that shot. It was not as nice as I thought it would be, but we will now just walk forward and see what next spot we have. So when we were walking to the next spot that I was actually planning on making a shot, I was taking a closer look at this tree right here, and I think it looks kind of cool and it's kind of massive. And I found that this gap between the different branches is big enough to put my phone through. So what I'm doing, I'm putting my phone through, and then I'm setting my focus and my exposure as always. I'm here in the ultra wide angle lens, and again 4K 60 frames per second. And I'm shooting this with the ultra wide angle lens because it just has a cooler effect if you're using the ultra wide angle lens, because you can just see more. So what I'm doing is I'm putting my phone through. I'm here in the follow mode, and then I'm just slowly but surely walking back. And that's basically it. That's the next shot. And now we keep on moving forward. Something that I also want to do is I want to add maybe 1 or maybe 2 transitions into this edit. And I'm not quite sure what transition it will be, but since it is a very nice day and there are basically just blue skies without any clouds, I think maybe the dip to blue transition will be the best one. So what I will be doing with this shot is I will start below this tree right here, just so that we have a little bit more depth and just so that more is going on. And then we will walk past that, and then at the end of this shot I will just tilt up to the sky so that you have just blue skies without anything else. So I'm starting here, walking past the trees, you can see it very nicely, and then I'm just tilting up. And the most important part with a transition like this is that at some point in the shot you only have the blue sky without anything else. And now we need to find a spot where we can start with the iPhone panned up to the sky, and then we will pan down, no, we will tilt down, and then make the next shot. So let's walk around and let's search for the next spot. All right, so this will be the spot for the second shot of this transition. And like I said, we need to start with the iPhone tilted up to the sky so that we start off with just a blue sky. And then I will slowly but surely tilt down and make a little bit of a parallax around this statue or whatever that is. So, and for this shot, I also switched to the 1x lens away from the ultra wide angle. So we are tilting up, and then I'm slowly but surely walking forward, tilting down and making a parallax around that. So that is basically it. This was a little bit of a more complicated shot and I was not super happy with that. So I will just make a second take of that. But basically that's how you do it. So I found another spot that looks kind of cool. There is this bench, and I'll just show you what it looks like. So it's nothing special, but I think it looks kind of cool. I want to walk through the entire thing because again, this has a kind of a nice effect just we had with the tree down there. So I'm framing it in the dead center, and then I will just walk through it and let's see how it looks. I'm doing this a little faster. I think this could be a shot that we use to end this video. Maybe we'll find something else, but I think that will look kind of nice. Another thing that we can also do, because this is sort of the highlight of this park, like I said, it's kind of a boring park. So I switched to the 3x lens, and with the 3x lens we can create a lot more of a parallax effect because we're just zoomed in way closer and you can just see the parallax effect much better compared to the ultra wide angle lens. It's also a little more difficult and a little more complicated with the tele lens, but I think that should be just fine. So that's the nice part of, you know, living in 2022, that the smartphones that we have, they have just such really good in-body image stabilization that you can get away with almost everything. And one more tip that I can give you for basically every shoot, no matter what you're filming, so it does not necessarily have to be a nature B-roll sequence, but always make like a few more takes than you think you will need, just to be sure, just to have a few options in the post-production. So we will now walk back to our gear, and when we're walking back, maybe I'll find like another spot or two where we can make a cool shot. So that's what we will do. And now I will show you how I edit this video. So the app that I will be using for this video is called VN. That is 100% free, and it has some really nice features, and some of the features I even like more than of some of the paid apps. But without any further ado, let's hop into the program. So this is what the app looks like if you open it up, and what we're gonna do is we will start a new project. So we just tap on new project, and then we can already select the different clips that we would like to import. You could do this, so you could just select all the different clips that you want to have. What I like to do is I only like to pick the first clip that I want to have, because what VN does, if you pick all of them, it just imports all of them into your timeline, and then you have to fiddle around in the timeline. So some people like this. For me personally, that's not my workflow, so I will just pick my first clip. So this will be my first clip. I just select this, and then you tap on this little arrow down there, and now it has already imported into the timelines. So the first thing that we will do is we will search the in point of this clip. So like I have said in the shooting process, I want to start it off with the sun blinking through the branches. So this will somewhat be the starting point. So I just split the clip, and everything before here, is not necessary. So I'll just delete that. You can zoom in just by, dragging your fingers out, just like you would be doing with a photo, for example. So let's just play it back. And that is looking really nice. What I want to add to this clip is a little bit of a speed ramp, because the clip just as it is looking very fine. But to give it even a little more, just to make it look even, just a little more special, I want to start by the clip being faster than it actually is, and then I want to slow it down to 50%, because if you remember, we were shooting at 60 frames, and I want to slow it down to get that slow motion look. And how we will do that is also very simple. As you can see at the bottom here, we have several different options, and what we want is speed. So we will start off faster. So maybe that's a little too fast. Let's see how that looks. That is looking fine, and then I want to slow my clip down. Let's play that back. And that is looking really nice. I like that. And since we are playing around with the keyframes, I now see that, we don't even have to take this clip as long as it is. So I will leave it as it is, but maybe we will just, cut it off at the end a little earlier. So this is what it looks like, and for now I'll just split it up and delete this portion of the clip. And VN automatically always puts in this end screen. I also just delete that. So that is the first clip. Color correction and all that we will do at the end of the video. For now, we will just, go through the edit and stitch the video together. So let's import the next clip. We do this just by tapping on this plus, and then you come back into your camera roll, and then you can just pick the videos that you would like to import. And the second clip that I want to take is this one, where I'm, between the two branches, and I'm just pulling back. So again, let's play this back, and now we can see where we want to start this clip. So I want to start just before we can see the branches. So I just split it up. I will delete that. And now let's just play it back. Let's see how this looks. Something that I do not want for this video is the original audio of the clips, and you can enable that just by tapping on this little audio icon down there. So that is looking just fine. So let's play it back. And as you can see, it's not flowing really nicely, because with the first shot I'm pushing in, so I'm walking forward, and with the second shot I'm walking backwards. So, it breaks a little bit of the flow. We now have two options basically. Either we could put another clip between those two, or I could reverse the second clip and make a speed ramp transition. That would also work. But I think for this one right now, I'll just put in another clip between those two clips. So the way on how you do this, you again just tap on this little plus icon, and then you search for the next clip that you would like to have. I don't know, maybe let's pick this one. I shot this at the end of our trip, so again, just go to the in point, split it up, delete that portion. Let's play it back. That is looking nice. And as you can see here, as we're moving further, I can see my own shade, so I do not want to have that. So I will just split it here and delete the rest. And what I want with this clip is I want to have the dreamy slow motion look, because the video looks nice as it is, but I think it will just look better if we have that slow motion look. And we can do that just by, again, going to speed and then go to regular and just drag it down to 0.05. And now this is 50%, so since we shot it at 60 frames and this will be a 24 edit timeline, we can do that just fine. So if we play it back, you can see this is now much smoother and has a nicer effect. And what I want to do is I will just put that clip between the first two, and now let's see how this one is looking. That's nice. Now we have the same motion. That's looking also very good. For me, the second clip is just too long. 5 seconds, 13 is just too long, so I'll just split it in half. And let's see how that looks. That's looking nice. I think that now also looks better. What we can do with this one is, with this we can also again add a speed ramp just to make the clip a little more interesting. So again, we just tap on it, go to speed, and then we speed it up at the beginning, and then we slow it down, and then we can speed it up again. I think that now looks pretty nice, so let's import the next clip. And I think the next clip that I want to have will be this shot of the tree. I'm not quite sure if it's that one or this one. I'll just import both, and then I'll just pick the one that I prefer. So let's play it back. Yeah, it will be that one. So again, I marked my in point, I delete all the rest, so I watch it back. It's looking really nice, and then it's already over, so I mark the end point, delete the rest, and with the second clip I can also delete that, because these two shots are basically the same, just different versions, so that I have more options now in the post-production, and so that I can pick the shot that I prefer. So that's what it looks like. And again, I will also slow that shot down also to 50%, so that we have that slow motion look. And then I can just pick the portion of the shot that is looking most cinematic. So I think I will set my in point here, and that's looking really nice. I like that, so I'll delete that. And that's looking just fine. So let's hop over to the next clip. And for the next clip, I want to have this dip to blue transition. So I just need to find the first shot that I took. I'm not quite sure which one it was, so I'll just import a few of them. Let's see which one it was. Yeah, that one. So we're walking forward, so I think we will start somewhere around here. So let's play it back. Nice push in, and then I'm panning to the sky, and we need to find the spot where we only have the blue sky. So we'll split that up again, and that's basically it. And that also will be the next shot, so that's really nice. This clip again is a little long with 7 seconds 30. That's just too long for my liking. So what I will do is I will speed up the beginning. So as you can see, we'll speed up the beginning even a little more. And then we will just leave it as it is. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll speed up the beginning, and then I will speed it up again. I think we can start speeding it up a little earlier, just so that it does not get boring for the viewer. Yeah, I think that should be just fine. And with the next shot, again, I will also search the last spot before I'm panning down, before I'm tilting down, sorry. Delete that, and now let's just play it back. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, for now, you can see the transition a little bit because the sun is just at different portions, but I will show you how you can blend that, and that is pretty simple. The easiest way is between the two clips, you have this little plus icon. You can just tap on that, and then you dissolve it and go pick the duration down very short. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, and that is just much smoother now. So the first shot ends very quick, and the second shot now starts very slow. So we also need to speed up the second shot. So again, just pick the end point. I always want to start and end my shots when I'm already or when I'm still in motion. If I end my clips where I'm already stopping the movement, it just looks kind of weird. So that's just a little quick tip for you. If your edit is not flowing that good, it's probably because you already cut when you stopped the motion. So I'll split it up here, delete that. So what we will do now is we will also add a speed ramp to the second clip, and we again go just to speed, start speeding it up at the beginning. We need to expand that even a little further. Yeah, I think that's looking very nice, and we can also slow that down here a little bit. Let's see how that looks. And now let's see if we have one more shot or maybe two more. I made some crazy shots here. Let's see if we can put this in, if that makes any sense. Let's split it up here. Let's play that back. I don't know. Maybe we can add that. Let's see how it fits in the editing flow. I think we might have to start speeding it up at the beginning. Let's add a speed ramp. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty nice, and that's also what I was talking about when I was actually shooting the video. Get more shots than you think you will need. So I will add one more shot for now. I think then you get the picture on how like the overall editing process is working. I think I'll add that one. So let's import that clip. Let's see where it starts. I think it's starting here. So let's play it back. Yeah, and then we can add like a logo or something, like whatever we want. So that is basically the overall editing process, like sifting through the different footages and all that you have and adding some speed ramps. That is the first thing. I will work on that a little more in depth in like off camera, because I think otherwise this tutorial will be like 2 hours long. But I will fine tune that now a little bit, but basically I will be doing the exact same thing. And the next thing that we will do together now is add a color correction. So adding a color correction in VN is also very simple. At the bottom here you have several different options. What we want for now is filter, and we just tap on filter, and you have several different options. You have favorite, you can save some favorites, you have the recents, you have original, you have legacy filter, travel, teal and orange, and all of that. So basically VN is offering you a ton of different filters that you can use. So what I'm gonna do is I have imported my own LUTs that I have created for students of Smartphone Filmmaking Pro, and also for myself, to be honest, so that I can use them very simple and very easily. And I have a few of them, but I think the one that I will be using for this video is called Extreme Color Pop and Contrast. And as you can see, it's just much more contrasty and a much more saturated image. To be honest, that's too much, but what is really cool with VN, you can just dial in the intensity on how you like it. So I think I'll just put it to, I don't know, 65 or something. And then what I also want to do, because the blacks are just crushed a little bit, I also want to hop over to adjust. And then we can go to the shadows and bring them back a little bit. Then I will also add just a little bit of a contrast. And if you tap on it, you can see before and after. So I think that's looking really nice. And what's also really cool with VN, you can just tap on apply to all. And now all the different clips have the same color correction applied. Of course, you can cycle through the individual clips if you need to tweak it a little bit. But most of the times, if you are shooting with your smartphone with a native camera app, just color grading one clip and then applying it to all the others, most of the time that will work just fine. So yeah, that's looking really nice now. So the next thing that I want to do is, like I have said at the beginning, I want this to be a cinematic sequence. So I want to add letterboxes to this video. And the way how you can do this is at the second layer, you can add like another layer to your clip, and we'll just tap on that. Then we go to stocks, and then we go from video to photo. And what I have done is I have created a letterbox or a cinemascope for our students, also from Smartphone Filmmaking Pro, but again, also for myself. So I'll just tap on that. And as you can see, we now have a different aspect ratio of 21:9 or 235:1. So I'll just expand that to fill the entire video. So that's now looking really nice. And as you can see, this just adds a much more cinematic touch to the video. So that's that. There is basically only one thing missing that I always like to add to my videos to make it look more cinematic. And that is, of course, music. So in the fourth layer, you can add music. You can just tap to add music. Then we go to music. I have already imported a music clip up front that I want to use for this. So I'll just use that. It is called, I don't know, I cannot say that, but I got it from Audio with double I's. And I actually made a video about them. And if you're interested in them, you can, join my affiliate link and we'll get a small kickback. So I really like them. You can get some really nice music, and the one that I will show you today is also from them. So just accept that, and now it's in the video. And now we almost have a final video. So yeah, I think that is looking pretty nice. That's how you can shoot, and that's how you can edit cinematic nature sequences with your smartphone and a 3-axis gimbal. If you have any more questions, make sure to let me know. I would love to help you out. And if you want to learn even more beyond of that we have covered in this video, you can check out smartphonefilmmakingpro.com. Below this video, you will find a link to a free webinar that I have created where I share the top 5 secrets to shooting cinematic videos with a smartphone. So in case you want to learn more, I can highly recommend that you check it out. We've had over 50,000 people attending this webinar. So in case you have like 10 minutes, I can definitely recommend that you check it out. But that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.